TRIM, is about that peer-to-peer support. So it's not something that's, it's not a medical intervention. It's not counselling. It's about peer-to-peer. So those that have shared experiences in the sense of their work. So those that have been exposed to a potentially traumatic event is getting the support that they potentially might need. And a lot of people find that really reassuring, which is what we're trying to do. But one of the key elements is that sense of being supported, that the organisation cares, that they're doing something. If nobody recognises that somebody's been through that trauma, then people can get quite angry, about that. So by having something like TRIM in place, it's a really good way of showing that support. It fits with what organisations should be doing. The training itself has gone really well. Those that have participated in the training, very supportive of each other, which is great because we want that interoperability between organisations rather than stovepiping it. So they each look after their own areas, because in an island environment you want people to be supportive of each other's organisation. So we've had staff from immigration, the police, the prison service, firefighters, from the hospital, from the maritime element, fisheries, a whole host of different areas. So it's great because you don't often get that. And on an island with the population that you have, it's fantastic to have had that broad spectrum of people coming in and coming together. So whatever organisation, if you're likely to be put in harm's way in the course of your day-to-day activities, then it's really useful to have been through something like TRIM. It doesn't have to be your big events. It could be, yesterday we had a lot of snow and ice. There was a few accidents and things, and that can have a knock-on effect, with people's self-esteem and, their morale. So it doesn't have to be the bigger incidents, the more complex, involving lots of people. It could just be one person. Type 1 incidents are something happens today, and we might trigger a TRIM response as a consequence. But there's type 2 trauma, which, for example, we quite often see it in emergency services, in hospital environments, social services, where they constantly going through and seeing things which they may see as quite normal. It's all part of my job. But actually, sometimes there's a culmination of that. And if there's other things going on in their life, spinning plates at home, spinning plates in work, and then this trauma that they go through quite regularly, they're bouncing back from that. So they're slowly, getting worse and worse, and it's quite hard to identify, but it's quite insidious. It can creep up on people. So again, with TRIM, we're a little bit more alert to that, then they're more likely to come forward and sort of ask for support earlier, again, rather than later. So type 2 is a really important element of what TRIM is trying to do as well. And certainly the feedback, having assessed hundreds of people, you'd never get anybody that stands up, having been through a TRIM initial assessment or the 1 month, that says, well, that's 45 minutes, an hour of my life I'm never going to get back. They've always been very thankful of somebody taking the time out with a cup of tea and then guiding them through what this has all meant for them. And if they need support, we can identify what that looks like.